Welcome to Rhodes, Greece. We are very excited to be here, and we kind of want to bring you a little bit different video because when people think of Rhodes, Greece, they don't necessarily think about a budget location.
Right, we're going to be budget friendly today. We're going to find out the prices of everything we can find, really. Food, beer, wine, activities, shopping. We're going to break it all down for you, and we're going to go to a couple of different locations so we can really see what Rhodes is all about.
Right. So if you're coming in, say on a cruise ship for the day, or if you're coming in and want to just do a couple day stay here, we're going to try and give you as much information as you possibly need. Now, finding things to eat and drink here in a budget range, at first we honestly thought that was going to be very hard to do, but we were pleasantly surprised.
Yes, we were surprised. We came across this place right away, like in the first 15 minutes we were here. $3 beers what pulled us in. They had great appetizers. The grape leaves wrapped around, I can't remember exactly what they were.
They have some just very authentic dishes, but you know, I think the key or the point of that part of the story is make sure and get off the beaten path. Don't just walk into the main part of Old Town and then start being pulled into all of those locations. That is where you are going to pay a lot more than what you need to be paying. Get off the beaten path. We're going to be showing you some of those other places that you can be going to as well to not only get drinks for a lot cheaper. I know there's beers for around €250 each.
We'll find them.
And also you can get those meals for a lot cheaper as well.
Yeah, and that goes for the touristy stuff too, the souvenir shops, things like that. Get up out of the central part of the Old Town. You're going to find some handmade stuff that may cost you less.
Yeah, and it's not only that it's costing you less, it's a lot more authentic than what you're going to get, because honestly, we're seeing a lot of things down on the main streets that I think we're just brought in from Asia, Southeast Asia, where we were at. Somewhere else. So just get off of the beaten path a little bit, and you are going to find some of those handmade creations. We just passed a shop, and he was explaining that he makes all of his stuff in the wintertime so that he's ready to go for the summertime. Handmade, a lot more fun.
I might even get one of those bracelets. They were pretty manly. I like them.
Now, if you notice as we are walking through, it is a little bit quieter today, and there's reason behind that. One of the things that we always make sure and do, especially when we are in a cruise port area, is that you check that cruise terminal schedule. So today we knew there was a cruise ship coming in, but it's like a cruise ship with 200 and some people on it, so totally manageable. But one thing I will say is, even if you are coming in on a cruise ship and you're coming in on a big cruise ship, we have been in Rhodes Old Town, which is a very large old town, and you really don't feel it that much.
No, it's not that bad. There was quite the large cruise ship in right after we got here, and we thought it was going to be busy like that all the time. There was plenty of room, but we've come to find out that it's not so bad.
No, it's not bad at all. Now, the other thing people like to know is what currency. It is the euro here in Greece. A lot of people probably already know that, but one thing that you might want to note is that every place, if you are staying right in Old Town here, you can just use your credit card. But there is one area where you might need to have some change.
Yeah, we've gotten this comment a lot. We've pointed this out in the past. Throughout Europe, you do have to pay for public restrooms. Here in Rhodes, they're 50 cents, so you might want to get cash out. Now, you can go into a restaurant, get yourself a beverage, maybe a lunch, and use the restroom for free. But if you're not interested in doing that at the moment, you need to go, 50 cents.
Right. And, you know, for us, it's always too thirsty, so we can always find a place to hop in. But that kind of is counterintuitive because then we go in, we have a drink, and then we use their bathroom, and then we need to use the bathroom again when we're walking around. So then we stop and we have another beverage. So
it's a vicious circle.
That's why we are always on search for those low-cost beverages. Now, another thing to note while you are here is the walkability of the town. Now, if you stay in the main central area of the touristy area of Rhodes Old Town, it is actually very walkable. But if you get off that beaten path, which we highly suggest that you do if you can, you are going to be on a lot of like rocky cobblestone, which honestly, even through our shoes, is a little uncomfortable to walk on.
Wear some good shoes. Get your good tennis shoes and wear those, because the flats or the Birkenstocks or some of these other shoes that you might have may not be as comfortable.
They may not be as comfortable, but if you do have mobility issues, you will be fine through the main central part of Old Town. Now, what activities are there to do here and still stay within that budget? There's actually quite a lot of them to do. We are right here at the palace, or the castle. You can go into that if you want to, which is going to run you anywhere between $8.50 and $10.50, and the variation is going to be depending what you want to go see and do while you are in there. So the combination ticket was the $10.50. If you just want to go in and see the others, $8.50. But now, if you don't want to spend the money on it, you can actually go and walk around the castle on the outside and see a lot of it like that as well. So it all depends what you want to spend.
Yeah, the grounds are beautiful. So besides the shopping, there are other things to do.
There is the Street of Knights, which you definitely want to walk up and down. It's very beautiful. There are plenty of churches here in Old Town. And then, of course, there is the Acropolis.
I've got a lot of sunscreen on right now, but I might have to get a bucket hat. That's on my list to get before we leave.
Yes.
Because, yeah, this is not good.
Beaten down on his head.
Blue or white?
Okay, so I went with the white bucket hat, and I think it was a good choice.
It was a good choice. Looks good. His head is covered. So we are up at the Acropolis here. Now, this is about a mile walk from the middle of Old Town, so it's really not bad. It is up a bit of a hill. Right now, unfortunately, it is under construction, and there's no information right now of how long that's going to be going on. It kind of looks like it's been going on a while. But
for a couple thousand years, I think.
Well, the building has been. But one cool thing about the area here is that you kind of do get a pretty cool view over the city down below. So we can see the massive cruise ship that is in today.
There's a cruise ship in today, and I will say that it wasn't that bad of a walk up here.
No.
But it is underwhelming.
It's underwhelming.
Yes.
I mean, but you know what? You kind of get into the, we'll call it residential countryside. So that part's kind of fun.
I was a little bit sketched out there for a while. I thought we were intruding in somebody's backyard, but we did make it. Underwhelming, like I said. But hey, listen, we're in Greece.
Something to come and see and do.
Exactly.
Now, when you come to Greece, one question that you probably have is where am I going to find some beaches to go hang out? There is a pretty nice beach that is right outside. It's maybe a 10-minute walk from Old Town, and it's called Ellie Beach. And that is really the most popular beach right here in Old Town. So there were a lot of like sun chairs. Things weren't totally set up yet. We are still a little bit skirting on the high season.
Yeah, right outside of Old Town, there's another little beach, but it doesn't have any amenities. There's another one further down, same thing.
Yeah.
There's no restaurants, there's no bathrooms or anything like that. Now we are going to rent a car while we're here on Rhodes, and we're going to find those beaches. So definitely stay tuned for that video.
Yeah. So yeah, there are beaches you can go to right here if you're just coming in maybe for the day and you do want to be able to just put your feet in the water. But I think some of the nicer beaches are going to be out of town.
Yeah, we'll find them.
Now there are two parts of Rhodes when you come. There is the Old Town, which we have shown you all of, and then there's also New Town. And in New Town, you're going to find some shopping if you want to do some more modern shopping.
Now between Old Town and New Town, there is a marina, a beautiful marina. I encourage you to walk out around it because you get to see all the $1 million+ yachts.
Dream a little.
You dream a little bit, yeah. There's also a nice little restaurant here. If you're just into your basic foods, club sandwiches, hamburgers, that sort of thing. Beers are about $4.20, which isn't too bad, but the food is very affordable.
It's very affordable, yeah. It kind of gets you away from the Old Town.
Get you away from the Old Town. If
And
you're
the
not into the Old Town and the tourists and all that, come here. Now, there is a wine shop in Old Town that I'd like to mention. The gentleman is very friendly, knows his wine, he's very good. Now, I found the same bottle of wine that I bought for €1 less at the grocery store, but it was worth that euro to buy it from the gentleman I bought it from because he was very friendly and very knowledgeable.
He was very knowledgeable.
Yes.
He wanted to show us all around his store, but he told us all the history of the different wines and what region they're coming from. So if you like great wine, you can go there or you can go wherever because you're going to find some amazing wine here on Rhodes. Now, where do you want to stay when you come here? So if you're not coming in on a cruise ship and you are going to choose to stay a couple nights, I did a little research. Now, we are here for a month, so we are staying a bit out of town. We will cover that more later in a different video. But if you want to stay right in the heart of Old Town, you can actually find some really great boutique-y hotels. The prices were actually pretty reasonable depending what time of year you're going to be traveling. But you could also stay in New Town. There's some there's a huge casino which is super popular that is right next to that Alley Beach that we were talking about, which might be a great choice as well if you want to just cross over the street and be right at the beach. But there are a lot of really affordable options here, like I said, depending what time of season you're coming.
Now, for me, I would stay in Old Town. I would stay in one of the boutique-y little places in Old Town. You're right in the middle of everything. And it's right next to the ferry terminal and all the transportation. So you're here.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anywhere. You can walk right
door.
in. You'll walk out your door, you're there. You can walk down to that beach too if you want to. Now, we are here in April. It's mid-April right now. So things are still a little bit, well, they're just getting rolling.
It's a little bit quiet.
Rolling.
The main area we noticed that things weren't really up and going yet was around the beaches.
Yes.
A lot of the chairs weren't out, the umbrellas weren't out. That was just kind of getting up and going. But the cruise ships are starting to come in. So that tourist season is starting to get going a little bit.
So we would come, if we were to come back and we had any kind of schedule we wanted, I think we'd come at the same time.
We would, because the prices are, like we mentioned, you're going to save some money by not coming in those high seasons.
Right.
So if you can just skirt the high season and not come in those summer months, you're going to save a lot of money, get a lot more for your money. And I just feel like, or we both feel like, you enjoy things a lot more when you're not fighting a crowd everywhere you go.
I will say that it's a little bit cool today. The temperatures are a little bit down. I got a little sweatshirt on. It was nice last week. This week it's a little bit cold. So that might be something that you'll want to consider if you are out to lay on a beach.
Yeah.
It might be hit or miss on the old cloud cover.
Yeah, depends your tolerance of the cool water and not being terribly warm outside. So there were people swimming. There were plenty of people swimming right now.
The water's refreshing.
Yeah, I don't call it that.
Okay, now I need to mention that there is a craft brewery in Old Town. Now, it was quite a bit more. It was like $6 for the least expensive beer on the menu. I think the IPAs were $8. Personally, I'd just soon pay the $3, sometimes $2.50 for the cheap beer.
Just get a local beer.
Yeah, just the local beer.
And there's plenty of places you can do that, and really you can find your low-end places, you can find your places you're going to pay a little bit more. A lot of that's going to be based on the view. So if you want to go to a rooftop bar, plenty of those right in the middle of the city center there of Old Town. You're going to see them. They are, I mean, you're going to have a really fun view, but you are going to pay a bit more for your beer there.
Yeah.
Now, on the topic of money, now if you are looking, say, for something, so a lot of the time, and we are here for a month, so we're looking sometimes for just that kind of grab and go meal. Now, we have found, so in Old Town, they have the gyro, which is something that is, you're probably really common with common Greek food to grab and go. Now, in town, you're going to pay about $4.50 for them, but by where we are staying, and we're maybe a mile walk out, but you don't have to go that far. Just find a non-touristy place, and you're going to be able to get one. The place we go to, which we absolutely love, it is so good.
I think we've been there 4
$2.50.
times in the last week. Yeah, it's a $5.08, €5.08 for 2.
Yeah,
and it's dinner.
It is dinner, and it's filling, and it is so good. So, point of that being is just get out of that Old Town if you want to save some money, and you're going to find the costs really start to drop down. And honestly, I think sometimes you find some of those more authentic, non-touristy mom and pop places. Okay, so we hope that this answered all of your questions that you need if you are coming into Rhodes on how to save some money while you are here. But it is about too thirsty for us, and we are really wanting a beer. Even though it's not terribly hot, it's ready for a beer.
We're ready for a beer.
Yes.
We're not going to go in Old Town. We're going down to the yacht club.
We're going down to the yacht club, a little bit of the view of the water. This is our favorite place so far that we have just been hopping into. Now, this, like we said, we've just covered all of the basic things that you need to know when you're coming to kind of just come quickly on a budget. But we are here for an entire month. We are going to be covering, like we said, we're renting a car. We are going to go travel around the island, check out some of the other areas, do a day trip over to Simi.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
Do a day trip over to Simi. And then at the end, we are going to be giving you the complete cost breakdown of what it costs us for an entire month here. And we will see if we were able to do that on a budget.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not going to be as inexpensive as we thought it was going to be, but we are going to have a good time.
We're going to have a great time.
That's
all right,
matters.
So be sure and hit that subscribe button so you can follow along, and we will catch you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.